Welcome back to Heartbeats Vanity, guys. We have an update for Onision taking legal action against Chris Hansen and Repzion, and the update is quite comical itself. Let's just move right into it. If you don't have Twitter, I've taken the liberty to screen record Chris Hansen's short snippet video describing just a little bit about the situation today.
Onision, aka James Jackson, aka Gregory Jackson, has filed for a personal protection order against me and a YouTube streamer named Repzion. I'm not going to be in court today, but I've hired an attorney to be there. She's got a lot of information about Onision, including evidence about his predatory, harassing behavior. She seems confident in our position. Perhaps it's the rest of the world who should have a personal protection order.
So as you saw, Chris Hansen had his lawyers appointed actually to show up for him in the courtroom, and the orange circle is Onision himself, and then to the left you see Repzion. Well, there's many things we could say about Onision's appearance, and we'll get into that. But the main subject is Onision basically filed a motion to dismiss his orders. So what was the point of this? I have no idea. Just to say he did it just for a video, or just because he realized how idiotic it was? I also want to point out here that there is no lawyer representing Onision. So Onision is representing himself in this situation. When previously he said on the 911 call, when Chris Hansen was at his location, that he had been speaking with a lawyer and that he had been associated with a lawyer. So that means you either have had to retain a lawyer or you just lied about speaking with a lawyer. Now, where I find issue with this is the simple fact that he wasted the court's time today. He wasted, the time in one preparing for this whole, pre-trial situation to identify whether or not that he was being harassed by these individuals. Therefore, boggling up that court's time, that judge's time, and taking on other cases that actually have to do with real harassment. To me, I find a really big issue with that, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Let me know in the comment section below. But then not only that, look at his representation of himself. He couldn't even find the time, today to brush his hair. Now, when you go in front of, a courtroom of people and you are supposed to be taken seriously, you would think that, one, you would try to look professional. You would try to look cleaned up. But I guess not. In Onision's case, he just doesn't take anything seriously. Had he actually been serious about the allegations that he was falsely accusing Repzion and Chris Hansen for, he obviously would have known this and would have taken into account, hopefully, I say that lightly, he would have taken into account that his appearance does mean something in a courtroom. As you can see, Repzion put thought and effort into his appearance. Now, Repzion, of course, has his own type of style, which is fine. There's a certain way to dress and a certain way not to dress, obviously. And at least he wore a suit, right? I was about to be like, if he shows up like he does on his videos that we've seen over the last couple of months, basically in the boxer underwear type thing, I would have been really concerned. Onision could have at least brushed his hair. And that's who I'm referring to here, if you guys got that confused. I think Repzion's look was very professional and he took it very seriously. Obviously had a lawyer, so that's very good. He had, I'm sure, planned and obviously logical reasonings as to why Onision's case against him was completely false. At this point, I cannot help but to just see Onision as a complete joke, more so than I ever did before. It's one thing to feel harassed because of things that, are actually taking place that are real harassment, and it's one thing to use the court system in a false way. I believe that Onision, as many of you guys do believe, that Onision has used the court system in these two cases in a false light, and that is a really big issue. But I wanted to go into some Twitter replies, or Twitter posts more rather, just kind of reacting to this whole situation. You see Stevie's here. I think it's great. He motioned to dismiss his own case. When I saw that, I was like, I knew this was going to happen. I knew he was going to do something really goofy. And unfortunately, it still irritated me enough to be like, wow, he's wasting the court's time. And a lot of us predicted that as viewers. I just dropped Jacqueline's there for you guys just because I honestly found hers to be entertaining as well. Unfortunately, this still boils down to the fact that the court system was used falsely in this situation, and I think that's the main focus. Yes, it is funny that he walked in there and he was all high and mighty, saying that everybody was harassing him and all this stuff. But then he goes in there and he basically tucks his tail between his legs. But regardless, though, he did use the court system falsely, and that is an issue, a very, 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 very big issue that I want to make sure is relevant to this video. That is why I'm posting this video. It is not to just react off of what had happened today. Well, yes, that is some of what I'm doing. I wanted to make that a big point, that if you are filing, or anybody who has filed against you falsely, and technically they are using the system in the wrong way, and that is really bad. And that brings us to a close for today's update on the harassment charges against Repzion and Chris Hansen. Both have been dismissed, and now we can move forward, I guess, with our lives. No, I'm sorry. This is the worst closing I feel like I've ever done to a video in my life. But regardless, though, yes, they're not guilty of harassment. That's good, because we all knew that they weren't. Let's move on with further commentary, I guess, now. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you're returning to the channel, thank you so much again for being here. If you're new, click subscribe, click that little bell to receive the notifications for my new videos. And thank you so much again. Kiss the stars.